everyone, welcome to my channel. So before I get into this video, I just want to say that I got new bookshelves. Once again, if you watch my videos, then you know that like 2 videos ago, I had already had new bookshelves, but I decided to like fully upgrade and get even bigger shelves. So yeah, if my background keeps changing, then that's why, but I think that this background is set. I really like how my bookshelves turned out. Like I can't stop staring at them. Like I love how they turned out. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way in case you watch my videos and you notice that like my background keeps changing. So anyway, today's video is going to be the reading habits tag, which I am very excited about. Like when I saw the questions, I just thought that this tag was just such a fun idea, and I like watching these kinds of videos because I like seeing what other people do when they read. I just think it's so interesting for some reason. But yeah, let's just get right into the tag. I'll leave the creator of this tag linked down below with along with the questions. But yeah, so the first question is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? And yes and no. The only place that I really read is in my room, in my bed. But what I'm trying to do and like work towards having like an actual like little reading corner in my room. Like I want to get a chair to put here next to my bookshelf so I can sit there and read, because when I read in bed I drift off and fall asleep because I just get so comfortable when I'm reading in bed that I just fall asleep. So yeah, I would like to have like a designated place in my room for reading, but for now I just read in my bed, or sometimes I'll go downstairs to the living room if no one's home and I'll like read down there. Or if the weather is nice, which is like never in Miami, but if the weather is slightly nice, then I will read in the backyard. But I mostly just read in my room because I don't know where else I can read. I don't really have that many options. Next question is a bookmark or a random piece of paper, and I actually use both. I don't own that many bookmarks. All the ones that I have are in this cup behind me, and I only own like 3 bookmarks. So I'll either use one of those bookmarks or just like whatever piece of paper I have around me. Like at one point I used the, like when you go to like a concert, when you get like the ticket and like a receipt, I'd use the receipt from Hamilton as a bookmark, because I just had it like on my desk, so I just grabbed it and stuck it in the book that I was reading. But yeah, I'll either use like random pieces of paper, I'll use like random like receipts or like concert ticket stuff, like stuff like that, or I'll use a bookmark. Depends on what mood I'm in, I guess. Like if I want to walk all the way over here to get a bookmark for my cup, or I'll just search through the drawers of my desk and just pick something that's like big enough to use as a bookmark. But yeah, honestly just depends whatever mood I'm in, I guess. Next question is, can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages? I need to stop after the chapter finishes. Like I can't stop just like in the middle of a chapter. I don't know why, it just really bothers me if I just like stop in the middle of a chapter. If there is a chapter break, then I don't mind stopping there for like a little bit, but I do want to like pick the book back up to finish a chapter. Like if I'm done reading for the day, I want to make sure that I get to the next chapter. But if I'm just gonna stop, do some stuff around the house, and then come back to the book, then I don't mind stopping in the middle of like in the middle of a chapter, as long as there's a chapter break. Like I can't just stop right in the middle of a chapter or right in the middle of a paragraph. Like I can't do that, because then when I pick the book back up, my brain will not be able to comprehend what is happening. So it honestly just depends, but I prefer stopping after the chapter ends because I just like having that sense of like completion, I guess. Like I just like knowing that I finished a chapter. So yeah, it depends, but I prefer stopping after the chapter ends. Next question is, do you eat or drink while reading? Honestly, not really. I'll drink whatever I'm drinking at the moment, but like most of the time I'm just drinking water from like my hydro flask. Like I don't go out of my way to like make a coffee or make tea and get a little snack so that I can read. Like if I'm reading, I'll just drink whatever I have around me. Like I don't really snack while I'm reading, unless I'm listening to an audiobook. Then I will like maybe grab a snack so that I'm like physically doing something. But I don't really like actively drink or snack while I'm reading. I don't really mind about like getting the pages dirty or anything. I just never really like go out of my way to like get a snack and read a book. But if I already happen to be eating and I want to read, then I will eat and read at the same time. But yeah, I won't like make sure that I have a snack before I read a book, if that makes sense. Next question is multitasking music or TV while reading, and I cannot. I cannot do this. Like, my brain can't focus on multiple things at once. Like, if I'm reading a book and I have something going on in the background that has like words to it, then I'll just get distracted and my brain will be so confused about like what to focus on. But something that I do like to listen to while I'm reading is like ambient noises or like instrumental music. Like, I'll look on Spotify for like reading playlists where the songs don't have any words to it. Like, I like listening to stuff like that, or ambient noises like rain noises, fireplace noises, stuff like that, just like get in the mood and like make it a more like cozy environment, I guess. But I cannot watch TV while reading because then I'll just focus on the TV and I'll just forget about what I'm reading. And I also can't listen to music with words because then my brain gets all jumbled up and confused. And I don't have the attention span to listen to things with words and read a book at the same time. Like, my brain just doesn't work like that. Next question is one book at a time or several at once. And if I answered this question just like a few months ago, I would have said one book at a time. But now I actually read several at once, which is something that I never thought I would do because I didn't think that my brain will be able to comprehend multiple books at once. But if I am reading multiple books at once, I'll have one physical book and the other one will be an audiobook in a different genre, or just like a different kind of story. Like, I can read like a romance and a graphic novel at the same time because my brain won't like mix the two stories together because they're like completely different. Or if I'm reading a book like a fantasy or something, then I'll listen to a nonfiction on audiobook because I like being able to pick up a story if I'm bored of the one that I'm currently reading. Like, this is something that I've learned about myself the past like few months with reading, is that sometimes I'll just get bored of whatever I'm reading and I'll want to read something else. So I decided to just read multiple books at once because I am a mood reader, so I like to read based on whatever mood I'm in. So if I'm reading like a fantasy and I'm just like bored of it and I want to pick up like a romance or something, then I'll do that because then I'll be able to read more frequently. And also with reading different genres, then my brain won't like mix up whatever I'm reading. Like, recently I was reading the Avatar: The Last Airbender graphic novel, and I was reading Honey Girl, which are two completely different stories, and I was able to pick each one up and like pick up where I left off, and I didn't get like all confused. So yeah, I do read multiple books at once, which is honestly something that I never thought I would do, but I started doing it recently and I really enjoy doing it. Next question is reading at home or everywhere, and everywhere doesn't exist anymore. I don't leave my house because we are in a pandemic, so I don't leave my house. I'll read maybe like in the backyard, but besides that, I don't go. Even before the pandemic, I wouldn't go to like a coffee shop to read or go to like the park because I didn't actually start reading again until last year when the pandemic started. So I never really had the chance to like go to a coffee shop or the park to read a book. So ideally I would like to do that because I do like having like a change of scenery every once in a while, but since we are in a pandemic, I read at home. But I wish that I could go to like a coffee shop to read a book. Like, that would just be so nice. Next question is reading it out loud or silently in your head. And I do both, but wait, hear me out. So I mostly read in my head because I don't know, that's just how I've always read. But sometimes I will read out loud if the character has an accent. Like when I was reading Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston and Henry's dialogue would come up, I would read it in a British accent. My British accent is not the best. I'm still trying to perfect it, but yeah, if the character has an accent and there's like they're saying like a funny line, then I'll read it out loud in an accent. But I don't know if anyone else does this, but yeah, I don't know why I do it. I just think it's funny to like read a book with like an accent. I don't know. I don't know why I do it. I don't know how I started doing it, but in like my everyday life, I will slip into a British accent every once in a while just for funsies, but I started doing it when I was reading it too, and yeah, it's just a thing that happens. Like if the character has a British accent or maybe even Australian. My Australian accent's not the best, but if they have an accent and there's like a funny line, I'll read it out loud in that accent. Yeah, I don't know why it's so funny. Like when I just like randomly do that when I'm reading, I just find it so funny. Like I don't know. I don't know. Next question is, do you read ahead or even skip pages? And I don't read ahead, but what I will do is like skim through the pages to see when the chapter ends. That's the only time that I'll like read ahead, but I won't skip pages or like read ahead to like see what happens. I only read ahead to see when the chapter ends because I like knowing when the chapter ends. So that's when a table of contents would come in handy. I think that more books need to have table of contents, but I talked about that in my bookish pet peeves video, I believe. But yeah, I wish books had table of contents, but the only time that I will read ahead is to see when the chapter ends in case I want to like stop reading or I need to go do something. So yeah, that's the only time that I'll read ahead, but I don't skip pages because then I feel like my brain is going to be so lost and not know what's happening. So yeah, I don't skip pages. If it comes to a point where I need to like skip pages to finish a story, then I'm probably going to just DNF it because that means I'm not enjoying myself. So yeah, if I need to skip pages, I'm DNFing it, but yeah, I'll only read ahead to see when the next chapter is. Second to last question is breaking the spine or keeping it like new. And if you asked me this question like a few months ago, I would have said keeping it like new, but now I kind of like breaking the spine on my books. Like the only books that I have that have like actually like broken spines are the Percy Jackson books, like this one here. The spine is very well loved. Like this was on my first read of it. I just like decided to just like slowly crack the spine, and when I reread it for the second time and I did all of this, I decided to just like fully crack the spine. Like I was like just like doing this throughout throughout the book, so I could like, because with these paperbacks, I don't know if it's just me, but with these paperbacks they don't like fully open all the way unless you like crack the spine. Let me see if I can compare it to the other ones. Like it doesn't open all the way. I don't know if you can tell, but if I skip to like the middle of the book, it doesn't open all the way unless you like crack the spine. So yeah, I crack the spines on my books now because I also like how it looks. Like it looks so like well loved. Like I don't know, I just love how cracked spines look on like a very well loved book, and I do love this series, and it just looks so well loved with the tabs and the cracked spines. So yeah, if it's like this kind of paperback, like the Percy Jackson ones, where like if you open it and like the pages doesn't open like flat, then I will just like crack the spine because it just makes it so much easier to read. I'm just gonna go ahead. This is probably making everybody cringe, but yeah, just crack the spine because then you can open it flat and it's just so much better. So yeah, I am a heathen and I crack my spines, but it just makes the reading experience so much better. And the last question is, do you write in your books? And I don't, but I did have to like write in my books and annotate when I would read required readings in like middle school and high school. Like that's when I was like forced to write in my books, and I kind of like looking back at the books I have like on my bottom shelf, I like how they look with like the little notes and stuff in it, but as of right now I don't like annotate in my books or anything. The most that I'll do is tab them and maybe highlight them, but yeah, I don't write in my books anymore. I would like to. Like I want to start getting into like actually annotating my books, but I might start with just like post-it notes because I'm scared of like actually writing in my books. Like I don't want to mess them up. So yeah, I don't write in my books, but I would like to because I like looking through like the annotations and stuff. Like I just think it looks so nice. A book that I have that's like very annotated that I read in senior year of high school is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and this one's like very annotated, and there's like even sticky notes here too because I had to do it for class. But I just think it looks so nice. Like I actually like how annotations look in books. Like I don't know, it just shows that you like are like invested in the story and like taking note of like what's happening. So I like how annotations look in books, but I haven't actually annotated any of the books that I read for pleasure, but maybe I will one day. But as of right now, I don't write in my books. So those are all the questions for the reading habits tag. I thought this was so fun. I had a great time answering these questions. Like I just think it was so fun seeing these questions and answering them and seeing just how chaotic my reading habits are, even though I don't think they're that chaotic. But I just thought this was so fun, and I'll leave the questions down below if you want to answer them in the comments. We can all talk about our possibly chaotic reading habits. I think that'll be fun. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.